Stop. Before you walk into that dealership and sign for a $62,000 Lexus, you need to hear this first. There is a specific group of older luxury SUVs you can buy with cash, zero monthly payments, that are more heavily engineered and better thought out than most of what's on a modern showroom floor. But here's what nobody tells you. Every single one of these trucks has known failure points. The difference between the guy who gets a deal of a lifetime and the guy who gets burned is knowing exactly what those failure points cost to fix, and which ones are actually a problem versus which ones are just noise. 10 trucks, real market prices, real shop costs.
Number 10, 2001 to 2007 Toyota Sequoia. The 4.7-liter 2UZ FE iron block V8 is the kind of engine that makes mechanics sentimental. 300,000 miles on basic oil changes. Documented, not rumored. Clean examples run $6,500 to $9,000 at a shop. Pull up in a first-gen Sequoia and people assume you're towing something serious. Big, square, unapologetic. It looks like it means business, because it does. But Toyota lost a class action lawsuit in 2016 over frame rust in the Salt Belt states. Structural rust, the kind that separates your rear axle mounting points while you're doing 70 on the highway. Therefore, you don't buy one from Ohio or Michigan without getting underneath it with a flashlight and a hammer. Hollow frame rail, you walk. Clean frame from Texas or Arizona, treating and undercoating it runs $600 to $900 at a shop. After that, it's the best $8,000 truck in America.
Number 9, 2000 to 2006 Chevy Tahoe GMC Yukon. The GMT 800 platform. The 5.3-liter Vortec LM7 iron block no-cylinder deactivation drama is one of the most reliable V8s GM ever built. These run past 200,000 miles with consistency that's almost boring. Well-maintained examples sit at $6,000 to $9,500. There's something about driving a clean Tahoe that still feels right. It's wide, it's confident, and on the highway it just settles. This was the family truck for 15 years for a reason. But 2 landmines. The factory steel brake lines corrode and rupture under braking pressure. Suddenly, not gradually. And the NP246 transfer case suffers from pump rub. The internal oil pump grinds a hole through the magnesium housing and the oil mists out the back at highway speed.
Number 8, 2004 to 2007 Infiniti QX56. Nissan's answer to the Escalade. The 5.6-liter VK56 V8. 8,500-pound tow capacity. Genuine presence. When it's healthy, it's smooth in a way that American trucks from this era weren't. Original MSRP, $52,000 to $58,000. Today, $6,500 to $10,000. This is the truck you park at the boat ramp and nobody questions whether you can handle the load. But 2 killers. Cracked cast iron exhaust manifolds trigger phantom catalytic converter codes. The manifold is the problem, not the cat. Replacing them runs $1,000 to $1,500 at an exhaust shop. Worse, the radiator has a built-in transmission cooler. When it fails internally, coolant mixes with transmission fluid. Mechanics call it SMOD, strawberry milkshake of death. The transmission is finished within miles. Therefore, pull the dipstick before you buy. Pink, cloudy, or sweet-smelling fluid, you leave. On a clean truck, spend $400 to $600 to install a standalone external transmission cooler and bypass the radiator entirely.
Number 7, 2002 to 2005 Mercedes-Benz M500. Forget what you know about early W163 reliability. By 2002, the Alabama plant had sorted itself out. The facelifted ML500, 5.0 M113 V8, 5G Tronic 5-speed is one of the most underrated drivetrains Mercedes ever built. Clean late facelifts run $7,000 to $10,500. Park this next to a new midsize crossover and the ML500 makes it look like a toy. The proportions are right. The interior still has weight to it. You feel it the moment you close the door. But the AAM module controls body electronics and ignition authorization. A voltage spike from a bad battery jump can break its sync with your key. The dash shows start error and the truck will not start. Period. The transfer case chain also stretches over time and rattles until it skips. Therefore, find a Mercedes independent specialist, not the dealer. Bench programming a used replacement AAM runs $400 to $600. The official Mercedes transfer case chain repair kit, not a full replacement, an actual fix, costs $800 to $1,100 installed. Know these numbers going in, and neither issue is a crisis.
Quick break. We're halfway through, and I want to say something before we keep going. Every truck on this list has a known problem. Every single one. And that's actually the point, because a brand new $62,000 Lexus also has known problems. The difference is that on the new one, you're paying $700 a month while you deal with them. On these, you've already paid cash and the repair still costs less than 2 monthly payments. The smart buyer doesn't look for a perfect truck. He looks for a truck whose problems are well understood, well documented, and cheap to fix. That's exactly what the next 5 are.
Number 6, 2007 to 2009 Acura MDX. For the guys who actually care how a truck drives, Honda benchmarked this at the Nürburgring. The SH all-wheel drive system actively overdrives the outside rear wheel in corners. Mechanical torque vectoring, not software tricks. The 3.7-liter J37 V6 is linear and responsive. Clean examples run $7,500 to $11,000. Get on a canyon road in one of these and you'll forget it's an SUV. It rotates like a sedan. It communicates through the wheel. It makes the drive somewhere feel like the point, not just the means. But the Sport Trim's electromagnetic shocks fail and cost $3,000 plus to replace OEM. More critically, the engine block uses fiber-reinforced cylinder liners that cannot be rebored. If a previous owner ran it low on oil and scored the walls, the block is garbage. Therefore, compression test before you buy. $150, non-negotiable. If you're buying Sport Trim, budget $900 at a shop to delete the magnetic shocks, install conventional struts, and wire in a resistor bypass kit. Problem gone. Number 5. 2013 Infiniti FX37. Be precise about this year. Not 2011, not 2012, but 2013 Infiniti FX37. The VQ37 VHR 3.7-liter V6 revs like a sports car and sounds better than engines that cost twice as much. This is the crossover that makes people do a double take in parking lots. It still looks aggressive 12 years after it was designed. Clean 2013 examples command $9,500 to $12,000.
4. 2003-2009 Toyota 4Runner Limited. For a lot of people watching this is the one. 4th generation 4Runner Limited, built in Tahara, Japan. Body on frame, real transfer case with a crawl ratio, torsion center differential. In a decade when everything went soft, unibody platforms, CVTs, fake off-road modes, Toyota kept building this truck like it was 1990. The 4.0-liter 1GR FE V6 has documented cases past 400,000 miles in fleet use. Clean 4th Gen Limiteds run $9,000 to $13,500. There's a reason these things have a cult following. You can take one anywhere. Pavement, trail, snow, mud, it doesn't care. And it looks like it doesn't care, which is half the appeal. But the Limited's X-RAS suspension is a hydraulically interconnected system where one micro leak drops pressure across the entire closed circuit. You can't replace one shock. You replace everything. OEM cost over $4,000.
Number 3. 2003 to 2009 Lexus GX470. Here's what the GX470 actually is. Strip away the badge and the leather and you have a Toyota Land Cruiser Prado J120, the platform that relief organizations deploy to conflict zones because it cannot be allowed to break down. Built in Tahara, Japan to Land Cruiser standards, torsion center differential with 100% locking capability, proper low-range transfer case, iron block 4.7-liter 2UZ FE V8, the same engine in the full-size Land Cruiser 100 series. Pull up in a GX470 and it reads as quiet money. No chrome, no aggression, just presence. The kind of truck that doesn't need to announce itself. The GX470 community has figured out what this thing is, so clean examples now sit at $10,000 to $14,000. Original MSRP was $55,000, but the secondary air injection system, a cold start emissions pump with a foam filter that degrades over time, gets sucked into the pump impeller and triggers a fault that disables low-range four-wheel drive. A $400 smog pump failure locks you out of the off-road capability of a $55,000 truck. Therefore, a shop installs an aftermarket SAIS bypass kit or filtered intake update for $350 to $500. That's the permanent fix. After that, you have a Land Cruiser in a tuxedo, and most people in your neighborhood will never know it.
Number 2. 2008 to 2016 Toyota Sequoia Platinum. The 5.7-liter 3UR FE V8 makes 381 horsepower and tows 10,000 pounds. This same engine is documented past 400,000 miles in Tundra applications. 8 passengers, full independent rear suspension on a body-on-frame full-size. Properly maintained Platinum examples run $12,000 to $15,000 because they hold their value like they were designed to. Park a Sequoia Platinum next to anything in this price range and there's no contest. It fills the lane. The interior is quiet, heavy, and deliberate. This is a truck you keep for 20 years. But the rear adaptive air suspension. The rubber airbags dry rot over 15 years. The compressor runs constantly trying to compensate. Then it burns out. Full OEM replacement at a shop crosses $4,500. The cam tower oil seep on early 5.7s is also real. But if it's not dripping on the exhaust, it's cosmetic. Resealing it costs $2,500 in labor. Leave it alone unless it's actively getting worse. Therefore, pay a mechanic $1,100 to $1,400 for a complete coil spring conversion. Air system out, conventional springs in. Failure point gone forever.
Number 1. 2009 Cadillac Escalade. Write down the year. Not the make, not the model. The year. The 2009 Escalade has the L9H, a 6.2-liter flex-fuel V8 making 403 horsepower. And the most important thing about this engine is what it does not have.
In 2010, GM added active fuel management to the 6.2. Cylinder deactivation that collapses lifters, wears cam lobes, bends connecting rods, and sends the repair bill to $6,000 to $9,000. The 2009 uses a solid valley cover sourced from GM's Performance Crate Motor program. No deactivation, no lifter failures. The most reliable version of this engine GM ever put in a production truck. A fully documented clean 2009 Escalade runs 11,000 to 14,000.